In this video, we're going to learn how to create objects using constructors. So we're going to create a new file, call it objects using, or just objects constructors. Okay, again, let's import the source code from the previous file and change the title to object constructors. Okay, so we're gonna create a function that we're gonna use later on to create objects. So this function is gonna take a few parameters, and then these parameters are going to be used to set the values of the properties of our object. Okay, so to define the function, we're going to use the function keyword followed by the name of the constructor. Let's use phone. And then we're going to need parameters of the function. So if we go, for instance, for make, model, warranty, color. So these are going to be values that we will insert in the parameters of the function when we invoke the function to create a new object. Okay, so we'll see this in detail in a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to set the properties of the objects that we are creating using the function, using these properties. So we're going to use the JavaScript keyword this. So basically this refers to the object in question. Okay. So the property make of this object is going to be set to the value make that we're going to be inserting in the parameters of the function, which is make. Okay, so this is the property and this is the value of the property. All right. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for the other properties. So you want to set the model to model and the warranty to warranty and the color to color. Okay, so now let's create a new object by invoking this function. So let's create an object called my phone, and now we're going to need the new JavaScript keyword followed by the function name and the parameters that we want to use for the properties of the new object. Okay, so for instance, let's use Apple for the make. Okay, and then iPhone 5S or 5 for the model, and then let's use 12 for the warranty and white for the color. Okay, we should not have a space there. Okay, let's refresh the live preview and just see what's going on. 12. Right, so we just forgot to close the double quotes here. So now if we refresh, it should be working. So let's display my phone in the console and see what we get. Okay, so we can see here the object. It's not identified by objects anymore, but it's identified by the constructor that we use to create the object, which is phone. And then we can see all the properties of our object and their corresponding values. Okay. Now we're going to try to add a function inside the constructor as a method. So basically, inside an object, we can have both method objects, properties, and methods. So properties are similar to these ones. Okay, there are set values for the properties of the object. Now, if we want to add a function, so it's called a method of the object. So for instance, we can add a function that we can call extend warranty. Extend warranty. And basically, the way to define the function is by using this syntax. So similar to the properties. So it's this dot the name of the function, and then we use the standard definition of the function, function followed by parentheses with the parameters of the function, and then curly brackets where we put the statements to execute when we invoke the function. So in our case, we want to give the function a number, and we want to increase the warranty of the phone by that number of months. So it's going to be this warranty, and we want to add X to the warranty. So we can set this warranty to this warranty plus X. Okay. So let's try this function and see how it works. So to invoke the function, we're gonna need to start with the name of the object, which is my phone, and then we can invoke the function and give it a parameter. So let's extend the warranty by another 12 months, for instance. Okay, now let's check the new warranty of the phone. So it's going to be my phone warranty. So now we can see that the new warranty is 24 months, as we extended that by 12 months from the original one. Another way of adding X to the original warranty is just by saying take this warranty and add something that is equal to X, and we will get exactly the same result. Okay, so this syntax is easier to use, and it means add something that is equal to this value. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna try something else. We want to add a new property to my phone, only for the object. So to do that, we can just use the name of the object, my phone, dot the name of the new property. Okay, so let's add a condition. Okay, and set it for this my phone to like new, for instance. Okay, and now let's see what we get if we display the objects in the console. Okay, so basically it's still showing the same structure. We don't see this new property, but if we display only the property of condition, then that property is going to be displayed. Okay. Okay, now let's create another object using the same constructor, and let's call this one, for instance, my brother's phone, and let's set it to new phone, and let's okay, first let's see what happens if we don't use any values. Okay, let's display this new phone. So window console dot log. Okay, so we're not getting any errors, but we can see that all the properties are undefined. Okay, so let's use some values. Okay, let's go for Apple, iPhone 4, for instance, and a warranty of 6 months, and we want a color of black. Okay, so now we can see the properties. We have also the function at the end, so we only have the name of the function, and it doesn't have any value there, it just says it is a function. Okay, and similar to the previous object. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we want to display the condition of this new object. Okay, so remember that we added this new property to my phone object. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we want to display this new property condition for my brother's phone. Okay, so it is undefined. Okay, so now we're gonna mention something that we call a prototype. Basically, all the objects, they will inherit all their properties from a prototype. So the prototype properties are gonna be inclusive of all the properties that we defined for inside our constructor. So if we want to add any new property, we need to use to add this property to the prototype. So a way to do that is by using the name of the constructor, and then prototype, and then the name of the new property that we want to add. So in our case, we want the condition to be added to the prototype, and we can set that to new, for example. So by default, the condition of objects is going to be new by default. All right. So now let's check again what we get when we check this second object's condition. So you can see now that it's by default set to new. All right, but the first phone's condition is still like new, and we can check that again. Okay, like new, and the reason why is because we changed that properties value to like new earlier in the code. So Okay, so this is it regarding using constructors. Bear in mind, we need to use a function, give it a name. So this is what we call a constructor. So it needs parameters. You can define a function without parameters as well. Okay, so you can define properties and methods as well. To invoke the function to create a new object, we need this syntax. Okay, so the name of the new object after the var keyword, and then we need to use the new JavaScript keyword followed by the name of the constructor and all the parameters of the function. If we don't put all the parameters, then some properties are going to be undefined. Okay, so to add a new property to an object, we can do that by using this syntax, name of the object dot name of the new property. But if you want to add a new property to the prototype, so that it is generalized to all the objects created by the constructor, then we need to use the constructor's name dot prototype dot the name of the new property, and then we can set that to a value that we choose. All right.